What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? Community, good evening. What's up? You know who it is. It's your girl, your big sis, L Vintage. We are here live and direct with our newest mayoral candidate, Mr. Julio Sanchez, community member, longtime standing Joker fan, Greyhound fan, all of the above, homegrown. You know what it is. And it got lineage here. So, let's dig in. Before we get into it, we want to get this business out the way. I need y'all to hop on over during this special edition of Stage Left and click like, follow, share at 609 Stage Left on IG. That's Instagram for all of you who do not know what IG is. That's at 609 Stage Left. And over to Facebook at Stage Left. Just Stage Left. Going over there, check it out. Because we always going to bring you that good news, that good love, that community fuse, all that stuff that binds us together and talk real talk about the things that's tearing us down and hurting our students and our community more so now than ever. So, without further ado, Mr. Julio Sanchez, our mayoral candidate for Pleasantville. What's up?
Not much. I'm looking at this picture. Let me brighten this up a little bit. I'm a little dark.
Because you need some brightness. We need to see your sunshiny face, brother.
I'm gonna address that. Give me 1 second. I apologize. I should have been a little more ready, but it's just a little too dark. I don't want you to not be able to see me.
Word. It's that summertime effect. That thing is taking over. It's almost getting there.
Yeah, it takes you longer to turn lights on.
For real.
Oh, that might be too bright. Off a little bit.
There we go. You good on that? Yeah.
That better?
We can see you. That's a little better.
Okay.
Still a little bright. It'd be like you got to get the right tone. There you go. You good on that end.
All right.
So
hat's crooked.
Without further ado,
got my Pleasantville maroon on.
Hey man, listen, always repping. Let me see, are you pure blending tonight or you just
No, that's undeniable. That's my son. When my son was in high school, he had his own brand, so this is one of his.
Okay, see? Always about the family biz. That's what we like. So
Absolutely.
tell us why Julio Sanchez for mayor of Pleasantville.
I think for a lot of reasons. I think Pleasantville has a lot of holes right now that I have the ability to plug. I think I have a new vision, new goals and ideas, and I think the energy to get those across. I think I have enough of a rapport with the youth and enough of a relationship with a lot of elders with wisdom that I can bring those two together, forge them with the experiences I've had in my almost 20 years of public service, and use those to move Pleasantville forward.
And listen, we all appreciate, especially those of us who understood what being under the elders meant. Even when we was knuckleheads and doing what we wanted to do, we still understood the respect for our elders. So when you speak of tying the community to the elders, so the younger generation knows, this is how you treat the elders. This is how you take care of the elders, because one day you're going to be there. In that respect, how do you continue to relay that message to the youth and by example?
Well, I want to relay a message to both the youth and the elderly, because neither of us can exist without the other. The youth have the energy to get things done, but the elderly have the wisdom. So you can't if you're energetic going the wrong way, you're going to get nowhere fast.
Absolutely.
If you have all the knowledge and no energy, you're going to have a beautiful plan that you can't execute. But if you marry the two, you have it all.
Word. And I like the fact of, you guys have been earmarked in the community for so long. Doing that work and seeing generation to generation grow and become their own adult citizens, and still they come back and they also impart. So now now we're crossing paths between that middle generation, which is us, and then the younger generation, which
Absolutely.
is clashing. You know what I'm saying? So how do we continue to grow that as well, and also protect the elders?
Well, we have to be the glue, first of all. We have, because like you said, we're tied to the youth and the elderly. There's a gap between the two, but we are that gap. We fill that gap. We're in the middle. But we lead by example. We can show the youth how to take care of that. We're basically going to be showing the youth how to take care of us by how they see us take care of the elderly.
Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cycle. We all have a turn, you know what I mean? And that's
Absolutely.
something that we have to know. You know, look out for the elderly, empathize in their situations because one day you too, if blessed, will be there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And moving into the forward realm, community budgeting, urban enterprise,
Okay.
easy zone. There's a lot of space to build on, to collaborate. There's also a lot of businesses who are folding or
I'm
struggling.
sorry, you breaking up. You just broke up when you were talking.
Oh, can you hear me now? Wait a minute.
It sounds like robotic. I'm sorry.
Sounds muffled. Yeah, wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah, so it's kind of like robotic.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I don't know what that muffle is. I don't know what that is. But I'm telling you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn this down just a tad bit. Maybe that's it. Can you hear me better? Still there.
I'm
Can you
still
hear me
here. I hear you now and I can see you again now. Because your picture
now?
froze for a minute too.
Oh, right. I'm back. Trying to take care of that muffling.
I can't make out what you're saying again. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah, man.
Yes,
I don't know what
but
that
your
is.
screen froze, so probably not long.
All right. Give me a second, everybody. All right. I think we good. I think we good. All right. So listen. So
Okay.
and moving forward, what I was saying, how do we, make sure that we are also protecting our elders? And you said, like you said, be in that gap because we are in the middle of both. And I know it's our duty
Mhm.
to continue to challenge these youngins and challenge this generation. But how do we do that when it's so conflicted?
You're froze again.
I froze. Man. All right. Let me see something. I'm gonna. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah. Can you see me now? Am I still moving?
I see you, but you just froze again, and your sound is muffled.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, bro.
I'm on Wi-Fi. Are you on Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is not usually. All right, so I tell you what, I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna leave and come back in. Okay.
Okay. You put the same amount of water as rice. Boil it first, then turn the fire down real low.
Did anything change? No.
No, I can't.
All right. Say less. Say less. Switching to a new device, y'all. Switching to a new device.
Your screen is frozen. I can't hear anything.
I got you.
You want me to leave out and come back in, see if that works?
Nah, I'm switching devices, bro.
Huh?
I'm switching devices as we speak.
Oh, okay.
All right, now, can you hear me?
I hear you. I heard you for a second, and now you froze again.
I'm frozen? What is going on? All right, man. All right, yeah, you come back out and come back in, go out and then come back in.
Okay. All right.
Excuse us for this technical difficulty, everybody. We sorry for the hold up. We'll be getting to the conversation in just a second. Bear with us as we take care of this technical difficulty and get through this successful interview. That's how you know it's always the devil. These devil is so busy because he don't want us to have this good conversation, and we need the community to know. So hold on, give us a second. We'll be right with you. Okay. And if anybody's out there that is actually watching, just if you could, you know what I mean, type in I hear you, we see you, just so I can make sure on my end is good. Just having a little technical difficulties. And, um, stage. Yep. We having some technical difficulties, but we trying to get it right now, y'all. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, loud and clear.
You loud and clear.
Let's get it. Okay,
All
so
right.
back to the business on the table.
Okay.
So we were talking elderlies, but we're gonna move to the next question: housing. And we were talking about urban easy. We're gonna jump back to urban easy in a second. But housing, especially for HUD housing and the housing authority, how do we plan to combat? There's an overage of housing that's needed, but then there's also housing that's being condemned. So how are we planning to, if once we get in, to redevelop? What are our thoughts about that?
Well, unfortunately, and I don't want to sound any type of way when I say this, but unfortunately, Atlantic City got rid of a lot of its low income housing in the last 20 to 30 years.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, because of that, we had an influx of residents needing low income housing. I
Right.
think we're at a pretty tough spot right now where we really don't have space for much more low
Right.
income housing or housing period in Pleasantville. We don't have much space for, nor do we have the space in our school district to house the children that come with that. So
Right.
I think we need to build our economy so that maybe we need less low income housing, and to produce more jobs and income opportunities so that we can grow past that, because unfortunately the reality is you can't run a city that
Hmm.
needs tax dollars to survive based
Right.
majority on low income housing. And unfortunately, I addressed this at the candidates night too. Because we have John Brooks Recovery Center, I'm not against that. But because it's housed in Pleasantville, we get a lot of people who are in a down state of their life in, placed into Pleasantville, and we just really don't have the space residentially for them right now. So I'm
Right.
not sure, what the answer to that is. I think the state needs to help us come up with with a solution, because again, it's not really a Pleasantville problem, solely because a lot
Right.
of the problem comes from outside of Pleasantville, but because they're getting treatment here, they end
Mm,
up here. And, it
absolutely.
puts us in a really unfortunate situation. But
Mm,
unfortunately, like I said, the Pleasantville Housing Authority has low income housing in Pleasantville. We
hmm.
have, I think, 4 or 5 apartment complexes that have low income housing in Pleasantville.
Yes.
Um, Milan in Maine, our
Mm,
newest development, has low income housing. So, just to have a functioning economy, I don't know how much of your tax base you can make into low income housing. I think we may be pretty maxed out at this point. I think we
wow.
need our
Okay.
neighboring communities to start honoring their responsibility to provide low income housing and stop dumping it all on us.
Wow. Absolutely. I concur. Actually, I concur. And as that is important. And speaking of John Brooks, we see a lot of that, and not just flooding into the streets, but in the criminal actions as well, especially around the bus terminal and down those train tracks. It's very scary. It's and working in the school system, we see it a lot where they're traveling the tracks and there's really no protection back there. You know what I'm saying? So that I think that's also another reason why we're losing out on the economy. We're sufficing
Yeah,
for it
because
as well.
who wants to do business in a town that has to deal with the criminal element that we have right now? So part
Mhm.
of that's going to go back to policing.
Yeah.
We have to get the police into the community. Now I've seen it's
Yes.
getting better. I've seen some of the younger cops playing catch with the kids,
Mm.
establishing relationships. We're getting there, but we got to get police officers out of cars and onto the street interacting,
Right.
and not just bike cops. They have to actually
Mhm.
walk the streets, especially our
Absolutely.
business district and our downtown district. People
Um,
feel safe. You go anywhere. You can go to Seattle City or any of these local shore towns that buzz during the summertime. There's
mhm.
always a police presence on foot out there, and they don't have the
Absolutely.
criminal element we have. And maybe that's why, because a lot of times people think of cops in responding to crime, but I think if you get them out there to prevent the crime, we'd be much more effective.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And I here's my other question. Why is it that there's so many outside entities coming into Pleasantville? And what do we plan to do about that, especially growing our department? There's, because we see Galloway, we see AppSeek, and
What do you
uh,
mean by outside entities
I
specifically?
mean,
I'm
I
answering.
mean outside departments, police departments, not versus
Well,
entities,
that
departments.
is that's in reference to mutual aid.
Mm,
So every municipality has a mutual aid agreement. We have it as a fire department too. Every time we have a working fire, neighboring towns come in. That
right.
happens because, to be honest, we have more work. They have to come in because we have more work than our department can handle, and that in
Wow.
itself lets you know the amount of problem we have with addressing crime right now. Because anytime you have an active police department on duty that can't manage your day-to-day operations, and you regularly have to have mutual aid come in and assist you, you
Hmm.
know we have a problem with crime that needs to be addressed in the immediate future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so what is your proposed plan? Are we going to continue, or would you rather continue or push through a new academy? Like, because I know it's a lot, especially
Well,
to come to towns like this that aren't so big. You know
well,
what I mean?
here's the thing: mutual aid agreements exist because you can't afford to
Right.
just keep hiring and hiring. The
Mm,
money you have is the pot. But don't get it twisted. Our police go to Absecon and Northfield too when they have problems.
mm,
There are mutual aid agreements throughout the state, but it just isn't practical to staff enough police that can respond to things when it's inordinate amount of things going on, or when
yeah.
extraordinary circumstances. That's what it's really for. The
Wow.
problem is that we have extraordinary circumstances too often.
Mm,
I don't want to ever get rid of our mutual aid agreements, because there comes time when you have disasters. My first work
Absolutely.
fire over 20 years ago was in the California apartments where a whole apartment building burnt down. No
Mm-hmm.
one fire department can fight a fire that size. You're going wait. But the problem is, you see it all the time because the crime is that excessive. So
Wow.
if you want to start seeing our neighboring cops in our town less, we have to
Mm-hmm.
clean crime up. But all that means is our crime is so big that it can't be handled by what we staff. And what
Wow.
we staff is appropriate to the population in our city. Unfortunately, the crime rate is much higher than a typical city of our population has,
Mm. Mm. That's
which hurts
interesting.
our economy, hurts our chances of getting rateables and businesses, and hurts
Mhm.
our businesses from growing because people outside that come from safe neighborhoods, why do they want to go to a crime-ridden municipality to shop or spend money? So that's one of the emerging things we have to address right away. And
Well,
the very fact that you notice outside police departments in our town often means again our crime is just way too high.
word, word. Now, speaking of crime, I know as of lately we've seen a lot of the crime come from the younger generation, the teenagers getting into trouble, fights, and things like that. What would be your proposed or your ideal of connecting the schools with the local government and how we can roll over the, opportunities for the teenagers within the local government?
Well, first of all, we need to find a way between the school district and the city to get police officers back in the school district. I think that
Mm,
was a very effective program during both stints that I was on the school board. We actually had cops that were full time employed in the school district, which prevented a lot of crime and
mhm.
also fostered relationships between the youth and the children that maybe we're lacking right now. Number one.
Absolutely.
Youth, adolescents getting in trouble, that's not nothing new. It happened when we were young too. The problem is it's a little more exaggerated now because there's less access to activities and opportunities for our youth. So one of the main things I want to do is expand our recreation program, which is called a department, but really is an office because it only has 4 employees as they just hired one this week. Prior to that, it only had three. So
Mm,
I mean, we need more recreation, we need more arts, and I myself run a boxing program at the Pleasantville Rec Center and have already been over to sit with the superintendent of schools and
mhm.
the principal for them to send me the troubled kids in both the middle school and high school that are participating in fights because they're saying it's the same kids over and over to send
Yeah.
them to me to the rec to participate in boxing training to help bring them self-confidence and discipline. So that's something that I was hoping was going to start a while back. I actually have a state grant that's going to help facilitate that. But
Oh, that's
unfortunately,
dope.
certain powers to be, I think, are dragging their feet with starting it because they found out I'm running for mayor and they don't want it to help me. Now, I
Wow.
think we should hurt the kids and stop the progress of them being rehabbed through the various issues they may be dealing with, causing them
Mhm.
to act out because of politics. But I can't control that. All I can control is what I can. So I do take care of kids that just come through the city down at the
Mhm.
rec right now. But unfortunately, the program I offer for the troubled kids in the school district has been put on hold because some people weren't happy about me seeking the election as mayor.
Wow. Man, dirty game politics, bro.
It, it really is. It really is. So, and it's not nothing new. I think you saw a couple different times. I had situations when I was on the school board where we had affluent natives of Pleasantville, two separate ones that wanted to come in and do performing arts academies here, and
I
the
remember.
just made it very difficult because it was coming through me. And it's just like we're willing to bite off our nose or cut off our nose to spite our face. And unfortunately, a lot of times, just like everything else, the same community that gets neglected is the same community that gets affected when this kind of stuff happens. And that's our youth
Absolutely.
and our elderly most of the time.
Absolutely, man. I concur. I believe in that, man. And we consistently say, and I'm sure you guys consider, you hear a lot about what's going on. You know the things that are going on internally. But once the students and the kids and the community hear that, it's discouraging. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So how do we continue when we're fighting two-headed monster? You know what I'm saying? So everybody, I think, feels so smudged in. You know what I mean? So overwhelmed by so much going on that we need people such as yourselves, such as Davenport, such as people who are like coming in and notice those things. We born and raised here that understand, like, yo, Our community is worth thriving. You know what I'm saying? Like people keep downplaying, and I don't like that, but it's worth thriving. We have a nostalgic community, but we need leaders, like I said, such as you guys, who consider yourselves not just community leaders, but community legacy. Who knows that you have legacy and lineage through this community? So we appreciate you coming, and we appreciate your, and putting yourself out there so that the community knows who to vote for. You know what I mean? And we need y'all to go out and vote.
Well,
Don't go and put your ballot in. Go to the polls on the 4th. You know what I mean? So tell us what you're looking forward to most on June 4th, man.
before that, I'm going to address what you just said. I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm not waiting to become mayor to make a change. Like I said,
I,
I run a
I
boxing
know
program
that's right.
at the center right now that when I walked into that gym a little over a year ago, had no equipment, one fighter, and three coaches.
Right.
1 year later, I got a state funded grant. The gym is full of equipment. I have over 30 athletes and four coaches. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is already. I was there for 3 hours today. Three
Uh,
hours a night, 5 days a week. I'm in the Pleasantville Rec Center with young men and women making a difference. So I'm not
yeah.
waiting to become mayor. I'm doing that with or without.
Pillars, man. Pillars. Pillars. We appreciate that. And man, listen, I don't know too many people that show up to every every game, basketball, football, and we
I
out there
love
yelling.
Pleasant. I love Pleasantville. Like this is home. You know,
Word, we breathe the gray, and we breathe the maroon, man. We breathe
like when
it.
I was a kid, right? I was a boxer. I used to travel this country competing. I had teammates from Pleasantville to travel this country with me. 90%
Word,
when we got out of the state of New Jersey used to say they were from Atlantic City. I've been posting clips of my old fights as a kid periodically on my social media to let them know no matter where I was in the country, I never allowed myself to be announced from anywhere but Pleasantville.
word, brother. Word, word, word. I feel you on that. Most of the time, you say Pleasantville, folks be looking at you like, where?
You might have to say right outside of Lang City, but maybe if I go out
That's
here and I
it.
make an impact on this person
From
and
the
I
Ville.
next time they hear Pleasantville, they're gonna say, "Oh, that's where that guy Jules from."
Word. And then we'll be looking at you one day as a governor. Shh. We speaking it into existence.
Well, I appreciate the affirmation.
Listen, man, we definitely are fully aware of all of the things that you bring to the table, who you are, the lineage. We express our gratitude, and we thank you for not just being who you are, but yo, man, sticking close to home. We raise our kids in this community, you know what I'm saying? And people don't believe it. They like, y'all not going out to the, nah, we're not going out there. We just gonna stay home and
Can I
bring our babies back home. You know what I mean?
absolutely
So
found on that lineage a little bit?
yeah, yo, listen. Shout out to the Greens, Mr. Lincoln Green Senior and Junior. Listen, we let's talk about the lineage. Go ahead, express the
Okay,
lineage.
well, I'm a little bit of historian in my family. I've always been intrigued, by my family's history. My great grandfather, my
Yes.
grandfather's dad, A. Lincoln Green, came to Pleasantville in 1926, amassed a bunch of property, and
Mm.
amassed the original rec center in Pleasantville was in a section called Little Africa on
Wow.
Hilton Road, where all the blacks lived at that time, and the roads weren't paved. That's why they called it Little Africa.
Wow.
That original rec center that he used to house dances and activities for our African American kids in town eventually became Faith Baptist Church and still stands there this day.
Wow.
My family's been into providing services for kids and serving the city of Pleasantville since 1926. My
Let's
great
go.
grandfather at that time could not run for political office, but what he would do is endorse candidates and go out and get votes from them, which
Mm.
my grandfather to get in politics, who eventually became a commissioner for equal opportunity and civil rights for the state of New Jersey,
Let's
ended
go.
up a city councilman, city council president, the personnel officer for the city of Atlantic City, battalion chief Atlantic City Fire Department, and actually he's the person you talked about the UEZ. He's the person that brought the UEZ into Pleasantville. So
Let's go, man.
ingrained in me to serve the city of Pleasantville, and it's been happening. I'm now fourth generation serving the city of Pleasantville, and I'm so pleased to have my sister right next to me assisting and trying to help push Pleasantville forward as well.
That's what's up, man. That's big. That's huge. Like that's legacy. And you gotta always let it know. Listen, man, Mr. Lincoln, my grandmother loved Mr. Lincoln. She was a trip, but she loved him because of what he brought to the table and who he was. And she used to always talk about him. And that's how we knew, because we knew you guys had family, y'all was family for us because we all went to school together. But then the Greens were also in school with us, so it was like, yo, it's like one big circle of family.
Uh,
Everybody is family out this piece. So
that's what
when
happens
we
when you have a small town like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, when we first moved in, we was just like, oh, okay, we good. We good then. But
Absolutely.
people
Absolutely.
don't understand. You don't, when you come in and disrespect it, you don't know what it is. You don't know what kind of jewel we have here. So
Absolutely.
man, listen,
And
dig
it's
into that.
I mean, with that legacy being explained, they did their thing, and fortunately, they ran their race. I thought ran a good
Hmm.
and moved on. You know what I mean, to a better place. But now it's our turn to grab the reins,
Word.
run our race, and hand it to the generation coming behind us.
Word. Carry the torch, brother. So let
Absolutely.
me ask you this: the transition from fire department to politics, was
What
it smooth? Was it easy?
I was on the school board while I was a firefighter, and,
And
and,
I
and
know this.
here's the thing: sometimes what you're gonna do in life, you don't plan it; it just happens, right?
Dig
I
it.
planned. My grandfather was a firefighter. I
Yeah.
never planned to become a firefighter. My grandfather
Man.
worked in telecommunications for the United States Army. I worked in telecommunications for the United States Army. I never knew that. He didn't tell me
Mm.
I was in communications until I got out the Army. My
Wow.
grandfather was first duty station was Fort Gordon, Georgia. My first
Mm.
station was Fort Gordon, Georgia. Who you are is who you are. We not really in control of this. And if you I'm just doing what's naturally me. Because if you look at my grandfather who came before me, he had the exact same steps. He was a firefighter, community activist, politician, U.S.
Mm.
Army vet. It just kind of just naturally flowed. And I promise you, I didn't plan any of it. It just happened.
Wow. Man, listen. That's just how it's supposed to happen. It's handed down to you through love, and you know what I mean, growth. You seeing it, you working in it. You didn't even know this is, like you said, I didn't even know this is what the plan or what was going to be as I got older, but here I am, man. So thank you.
I remember when
Thank you.
I was the school board the first time, right? Someone asked me in front of my grandfather, "Will I ever get back in politics?"
Mm.
I said no. My grandfather said, "Yes, he will. Give it time." I mean, it just happened that way. You know what I mean? But I mean, you just can't. You are who you are. Like
Yes.
they lit a light in me back in I think 1991 when Ralph Peterson first started campaigning for his first term as mayor. I worked his
Wow.
campaign. I was out
Wow.
knocking on doors and giving out campaign literature at 14 years old, 13 years old. So that lit a fire in me. I rode in the car
Mm.
with my grandfather and then Mayor Ralph Peterson. May they both rest in peace. And I heard them talking. Well, Mr. Peterson, or Mayor Peterson, asked me. I called him Uncle Ralph growing up. Uncle
Hmm.
Ralph said to my grandfather, "I sure wish our old men could have seen some of our accomplishments." They talking about their fathers could have lived,
Wow.
and they like, yeah, well, they saw some of what we did, but not the most. And I'm listening, and I didn't really catch the gist of it. And then I'm sitting there talking, and Uncle Ralph says, yeah, because I'm going to be. This is after he's elected, but hasn't taken office yet. I'm going to be the first black mayor, the city of
Wow.
Pleasant. And at that day, I said, "You gonna be the first black mayor?" Yes. I said, "So have they ever had a Hispanic?" He said, "No." I said, "Oh, all right, I'm gonna be the first Hispanic mayor." Never really thought about it again. Here we are, 30 plus years later. I'm making that
Wow.
leap.
Yes, bro. That's a blessing. That's a blessing, man. That's a
Absolutely.
blessing. Because I'm telling you, a lot of people don't take that leap because it'd be like, yo, this is a dog eat dog world. I, yeah, and dealing in politics and learning the language and the woes, man, took me through a whole nother level. I'm like, whoa. Those darts, they ain't easy darts. And you can't just
Almost like
dodge them
your
joints.
heart and turn it
Yeah.
off. Put it in
Yeah.
your pocket till you get back home because your feelings will not be considered.
Nah, man. No, it won't, they won't. They won't. And that's what a lot of people fail at. They fail to realize they don't care about your feelings.
They
You
don't
just
care
got to
about
go do what you do.
your well-being and your personal life, anything. You know what I mean?
Man,
That's okay.
man.
It's a rough job, but somebody has to do it because understand that the job has to be done, and we can't
Yes,
sit back in convenience and watch our community lack. Somebody
absolutely.
inconvenience uncomfortable in order for us to move forward, and I'm a
Absolutely.
in inconvenience and uncomfortable.
So now I got one final question for you.
Okay,
I know you were, you're a football fan and all of that. You think your boys riding all the way this year?
who?
Cause you ain't an Eagles fan.
I'm an Eagles fan.
Oh my God! Something told me you was. I thought you was a Jets fan. This
Nah, I
whole
was.
time, I thought you was a Jets fan.
Andrew Cunningham sent me outside upset
Jesus.
as a kid.
You know, no, you know what? Never mind. Cast a vote. Cast it. No. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Oh, who are you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, listen, I don't even know what's going on. But listen, I want you to tell the people again why vote for Julio Sanchez and let them know what they need to do versus what they want or someone else wants them to do.
I think you need to vote for Julio Sanchez because I'm the most qualified and most motivated candidate. I have the most
Mm,
experience, and I think I'm in the best position within the community to be able to come in and get things done. I think I
right.
have the right relationship, the right temperament, and it's the right time. Um, I think you should vote for me because I truly want for my community what I want for myself, which is why
Mm,
campaign slogan. It's not just something I say, that's something I actually feel within me. Um,
right.
I'm always going to want to look outside and see how my neighbor's doing. I'm not one of them people that's just happy to see that I'll eat a hamburger if the rest of us can all have a hamburger. So
Right.
I think you vote for me because I have the experience, the know-how, and the urge to make
Mm,
Pleasant because I'm just as tired as you are as looking at our city the way it looks, at our city's financial situation being the way it is, at us always trying to sell our assets to the highest bidder and
woo,
elected who are up for sale. I am not
mm.
up for sale. I'm not running for money. I unfortunately was able to become a firefighter young and am retired. All I have to do is wake up on the first of the month to be able to pay my bills. So it's not about money. I can't be bought. I'm transparent. I have integrity and I have a love for Pleasantville that I can't express with words, even though I'm a motor mouth. So when you vote for me, body that's married to the city of Pleasantville is going to
Right.
work to make it better until I leave this earth. A vote for me is a vote for change, and change is needed because if you can look outside your door and be happy with what you right now, I want you to go get some glasses.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Our newest candidate for mayor of Pleasantville, rocking with us tonight, Mr. Julio Sanchez. Listen, a vote for him is a vote for change. So you already heard it. One and done. Go to the polls on June 4th. Matter of fact, early voting has already started.
Absolutely. So 5 o'clock.
Already started.
If you need a ride to the polls, inbox me on Facebook. I'll see it to it that you get there. But I have to correct you. Ain't nothing new about me. I told you I've been working mayoral campaigns since
Nothing new.
1991. I've been involved in every aspect of Pleasantville, from athletics to government to school politics and the school board, my entire life. Ain't nothing new about me. I'm a familiar face looking for a
Word.
different role, but the work ethic will be the same and the results will be the same.
Word.
As for Mayor 2024.
Your big sis is corrected, y'all. Not new to the game. Not new to the
I,
game.
yes, I'm
I
trying
ain't new to this. I'm true to this. So y'all heard it right here this evening on this special edition. Let's talk candidacy with Mr. Julio Sanchez. Not new to this. I'm true to this. You dig? And we want you to go to the polls. Please, please, please get up and go to the polls. It's
I think
important.
it's really
Important.
important. So, I've heard of people who voted via messenger ballot. If
Wow.
you voted via messenger ballot and you gave your ballot to someone else that
Mm.
just told you to sign the ballot and didn't allow you to vote for who you wanted, please contact me because there's election fraud going on right now and it needs to be addressed. So
Oh,
if any
yes.
forcing your hand or not allow you to vote the way you would like to vote while taking your ballot, please contact us ASAP. But like
ASAP.
Elle said, you can avoid that altogether by just going to the poll and casting your vote.
It's nothing like it, man. Nothing like it. And y'all heard it here.
And if you're going to mail it in, right, there's no postage. There's nothing stopping you from filling it out and putting it in a voter box yourself. You don't need to give your vote to anybody else. People died and fought for years to have that right. Why should you put yours in the hands of someone else? Even if you don't want to vote for me, vote your conscience. Look at the issues, weigh the candidates, look at who you think is being can be the most honest, transparent,
Mm-hmm.
and knowledgeable in moving the city forward and cast your vote. Don't put it in anyone else's hands. I can't stress that enough.
Can't stress it. Can't stress it enough. You can't trust people. And voter fraud is very, very, very heavy right now.
I
So,
sound like Donald Trump out here worrying about a stolen election.
we're listen, you know what? On that note, we getting out of here, y'all, because
I feel
Sanchez in here acting up. Yo, so good evening. We love y'all. Y'all already know it's your big sis. Going over, click like, follow, share at 609 Stage Left on IG and Stage Left on Facebook. Make sure you go to the polls. You've heard it. Candidacy on the run. We're here. We want to win. We want it now. And we want to make a change. So vote right. Get the change. I love y'all.
ballot. Julio Sanchez, number one for council at large. Elise Sanchez. See y'all in City Hall.
Peace, y'all.